Welcome back, students. Today we are going to discuss Unit 5, and in this particular unit we are going to discuss Transport in Plants Part 2 topic. Before I start the main content, I would like to inform that the images used in our slides are for education purpose only. We respect intellectual property right of the original creator and owner of these images. If you are the owner of any of the images used in this PPT, have any concern, any issue, please contact us at sathee@iitk.ac.in and we shall remove the images. In this particular video lecture, we are going to discuss these points: transport of solute and water in plants, transpiration and transpiration pull, translocation of mineral ions, and mass flow hypothesis. So let's begin. First, let's discuss this root pressure. What is root pressure? As this is related to our today's topic of discussion. As you know, these ions which actively transported into the root increase xylem pressure, and which is the main cause for this water uptake. As this ion actively transported into the root increase xylem pressure, which cause water uptake. If you observe a medium heighted plant or medium length plant and observe by cutting a soft part of any plant in early morning, you can very easily observe that some kind of solution or water droplets are there, and this is because of the root pressure. This root pressure is another reason for guttation. Means some kind of water droplets which are present on the leaves, these kind of leaves as you can see in this particular picture, or in the tip of the grass. Okay, grass tip in the night or in the early morning. So the presence of that water droplets on the tip of the leaf or grasses, this is because of the root pressure of that particular plant. And this presence of water droplets is known as guttation. Okay, as it provides a kind of push, a minor push, which is mainly re-establish water chain in the xylem. But this is not effective for tall plant. Tall plant needed transpiration. Okay, so this is not affected for tall plant, but yes, this because of the root pressure, normally these ions which are present in the soil actively transported into the leaf, which increase xylem pressure and cause water uptake. Clear? Now transpiration pull. This transpiration pull is mainly effective for tall plant. As I just now I said, this water is mainly pulled up by transpiration from leaf, and there is a model known as cohesive tension model, which this model states that water molecules are cohesive, cohere, and which these water molecule cause or create a kind of tension that pull water upward. Okay, so it is very informative to know that the less than 1% of water is used in the photosynthesis. So 99% of water is lost via stomata as transpiration. Okay, only 1% of water is used up by the plant for its food production via this photosynthesis. Okay, so we can demonstrate it by enclosing a, you can analyze, or there are so many experiments discussed in 11th, 12th or even 9th, 10th class biology book also, that if we close a plant leaf with a polythene bag, okay, and put that plant in the sunlight, after some time you can observe certain kind of water droplets are there in the plant. This is because water is just evaporate through transpiration. Okay, so also if we put a plant in polythene bag, whole plant in a polythene bag, or use cobalt chloride paper to detect uh, this leaf water loss also, this with the help of this chloride, cobalt chloride paper. Okay, so transpiration is the loss of water through stomata, and 99% water is lost by the plant, only 1% is used up for photosynthesis. Now, so evaporative loss of water through stomata is transpiration. But through transpiration, it also facilitates the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide. Exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide also occur through stomata. There are certain kind of stomata which are present on the leaves. More stomata is present on the lower surface as compared to the dorsal surface, right? Or upper surface, right? In a dorsiventral leaf or dicot leaf, while number of stomata is same for monocot root. Okay, and these stomata normally open in daytime and close during the night time, right? And the opening and closing of stomata is actually depend upon the turgidity of the guard cell. This is the main thing which is responsible for closing and opening of stomata, these stomata, right? Water is taken up by the plant, it moves throughout the stem, and through in this water vapor, water travel up through the plant, and water vapor lost from the leaf pore or stomata in transpiration. Why? Because the water content present in the atmosphere is comparatively lower than leaf. So movement of that occur from high concentration to low concentration. So if stomata is open, then water move as a vapor outside the environment. Okay, and this, so for this movement, closing and opening of stomata is the main responsible, and this when it will close and when it will open, it actually depend upon the turgidity change of the guard cell. Okay, increased turgidity, if turgidity is high, these are the guard cell, right? This is stomata opening and these are the guard cell. If it is turgid, so what will happen? It will stretch out its cell length, cell membrane, which cause or bulge. Guard cell show bulging, which cause opening of stomata, right? But if there is no water, then it will lose its turgor pressure. Then that time, what will happen? If this is a stomata, it will again shrinken up like this, shrinken up, and it will, there is no turgidity, so it will form its original shape. As you know, the cell wall is comparatively thick. It will create closing of stomata. Okay, so what is the reason for opening of closing? Turgidity or turgor pressure. If turgidity is more, water content is more, which is obviously more during daytime because evaporation is there, right? So water very quickly move from soil to upside, right? So it will increase the turgidity, which cause opening of stomata. Now, stomatal distribution, as I said just now, stomata are present in more in number on the lower surface in the case of dicot. If we compare it with the monocot, whose leaf type is isobilateral in nature, so in monocot, equal distribution is there. Equal distribution on both the surface on the leaves, right? Now let's discuss the factors which affecting transpiration. All the abiotic factors like temperature, light, humidity, wind speed, these are certain factors which actually affect the transpiration. Okay, if humidity is more, then comparatively less water. Water content is more in the outside the membrane, so transpiration is less. Okay, wind speed increase the transpiration. Temperature is high, concentration of water outside the atmosphere is very less, so very quickly water move from leaf to outer atmosphere as a vapor. Similarly for the light. So these are the external factors. Some internal factors also affect transpiration, like distribution and number of stomata, like percentage of open stomata, like plant water status, like canopy structure. Canopy means if some kind of, big plants are there in a jungle, and on the big plants some kind of lower plants are also present, and sh- on the lower sides some kind of herbs. So a kind of canopy will develop like this, right? So canopy structure, lower plants that time get less number of temperature, light intensity and other things, so moisture content comparatively more as compared to the topmost tree or plant. Okay, so that's why it is written over here: number and distribution of the stomata, opening and closing of stomata, how much percentage of stomata are open at that particular time, what is the water content status in the soil and canopy structure. These are certain internal factors which actually affect transpiration. Now, physical property of water. Physical property of water means water molecule have a kind of attraction with each other, which is known as cohesiveness of water. Okay, what is adhesion? Adhesion means attraction of water to the polar surfaces. If surface is polar. Okay, so and third is surface tension. So cohesive property, attraction between water molecule, attraction of water molecule to polar surface is adhesion, and surface tension means water molecule are more attracted to each other in liquid phase than gas phase. Okay, so they show a kind of attachment to each molecule during liquid phase. This is known as surface tension. So these are the properties of water 1, 2 and 3. These property of water provide high tensile strength and capillarity. Adding water rise in thin tubes. What are those thin tubes? Tracheids and vessels. These are the parts of xylem. Okay, so it create a kind of rassi or rope and move towards upside, just attaching to each other, show cohesiveness, adhesiveness, and move from soil or root to top of the water, top side of the tree. Okay, so water move from the root to the leaf through xylem vessels. Okay, and this evaporation also occur through stomata, and this evaporation create a pull that drawn water uptake. This pull is driven by the lower concentration of water vapor in the atmosphere. As I just now said that as compared to the water content inside the leaf, atmosphere is having lower concentration, so water very quickly move from inside of the leaf to the outside atmosphere, and this is known as pull. Means water move by lower concentration of water vapor in the atmosphere as compared to inside the leaf. This is known as transpiration pull. Okay, so transpiration can generate a force to lift a xylem column of water over 130 meter of height also because of this transpiration pull. And this transpiration pull is created by the stomata, which continuously evaporate the water. Already we have discussed that 99% of water is lost through transpiration. Why? Because of the stomata opening, and because of this it create a kind of pull through which water move from the root to the tip of the plant. Clear? So transpiration function. Transpiration serve multiple essential function like transpiration pull. It facilitate water absorption and transportation. It also pull water for photosynthesis, which also need continuous supply of water, right? This transpiration pull is also responsible for mineral transportation, as mineral is come along with the water in the dissolved form from soil to various water part through transpiration pull only. And this cooling effect is the main effect of transpiration, because water is lost through evaporation, so it cools leaf by 10 to 15 degree through evaporation. And transpiration maintaining turgidity, keep cell turgid, which is mainly responsible for maintaining the shape and maintaining the growth of the plant structure, or it maintaining the plant structure, right? So these are certain kind of function of this transpiration. Okay, transpiration pull, water, movement of water for photosynthesis, movement of minerals, cooling effect, maintaining turgidity. Clear? Okay, now transpiration and photosynthesis, let's compare both the process. However, active photosynthesis demands significant water, which is quickly depleted by the transpiration. And this create a balance between photosynthesis, which is depend on the availability of water. In rainforest, humidity results from the extensive water cycle involving transpiration. Clear? Now, to optimize water loss, some plant also evolve C4 photosynthetic cycle. As you know, this C4 plants fix double, or we can say twice, amount of carbon as efficiently as C3 plant and lose half as much as water for the same CO2 fixation. We have discussed this C4 and C3 plant type in photosynthesis chapter, so I am not going to give another detailed lecture on it. Okay, but you have to learn this thing, that C4 plant fix a double amount of carbon as C3 as compared to C3 plant and lose half amount of water for carbon dioxide fixation. And this evolution maximize carbon dioxide availability while minimizing water loss, balancing, and it shows balance between transpiration and photosynthesis. Okay, now uptake of mineral ions. Uptake of mineral ions also occur through transpiration pull. As you know, minerals are present in the charged ion. Okay, so unable to passively cross the cell membrane. So soil mineral concentration are usually soil mineral concentration are usually present in lower amount than root. So obviously if the concentration is low in the outside, then obviously it require a kind of energy to move inside, right? So it require energy, right? So mineral enter root via active absorption and it require energy, and this process also help to create a water potential gradient, adding water uptake by osmosis. So minerals enter inside the plant body using ATP, but water uptake is only via osmosis. Clear? Now, transport mechanism. Ions are absorbed passively and actively both, right? Specific proteins which are present in the root hair cell membrane actively pump ions into the epidermal cell, okay, through various pathways within the just outside the cell membrane through apoplast, and inside the plasma and from one cell to another through plasmodesmata via symplast, right? So endodermal cell have transport protein that regulates solute movement into the xylem, as endodermal layer containing suberin layer, okay, which ensure one directional active ion transport. Active ion transport. Clear? Now, translocation of mineral ions. Ions which are present in the soil, it transported via xylem, okay, and throughout the plant via transpiration pull or transpiration stream. This already we have discussed, right? Now, chief sinks as growing region. These are the main area where this mineral ion goes and utilized by the different growing parts of the plant for further growth. Like what are those area? Apical part, lateral part, young leaves, developing flowers, fruits, seeds, and storage organ. Okay, so these are the chief sinks area. Unloading occur at 5 vein ending by diffusion and active uptake. Clear? Okay. Now, remobilization. As you know, older part of the plant body remobilize some kind of minerals to the young part. Like in deciduous plants or dicot, some minerals move from old part to young part before leaf fall. What are those elements? Like phosphorus, sulfur, nitrogen, and potassium. These are easily mobile from one area to another area, but certain kind of elements comes under non-mobile category like calcium, which is a main component of a structural component of the any kind of cell. So calcium is not able to move. Okay. Now xylem and phloem transportation. Xylem carries nitrogen as inorganic ions and organic forms as amino acids. A small amount of phosphorus, a small amount of sulfur are carried as a organic component, right? Some material some material exchange also occur between xylem and phloem, both transporting inorganic and organic nutrients. Okay. So, as you can see over here, this is the loading sucrose into the phloem. This is the area of leaf, okay, where photosynthesis is going on. So, continuously sucrose is formed or starch is formed. So, this is the source. Okay, so from source or from companion cell, from source to companion cell and from companion cell to phloem. As it moves from the phloem towards the sieve tube part of the phloem, which is responsible for the transportation of sugar through translocation. Concentration of the sugar content is high over here. Okay, so it require a kind of water also. Okay, water, so it just quickly absorb water or water can pass from xylem vessel to phloem. So it will get dilute. Okay, so transportation of sucrose occur from high concentration to low concentration. Okay, and then it will again sink into the root cell. Okay, and the water which is utilized by the sieve tube again located or retransferred towards the xylem. So this is how water is also move. Water flow initially into the phloem, okay, provide a saturated sap solution of that particular sugar content. Okay, so from higher solution concentration to lower concentration movement occur, and then when it comes over here from the on the bottom side, again it will separate out the main content or food particle or we can say nutrient content into the root cell, right? And water is separate out, move back into the xylem by osmosis. Okay, so this is how water flow down the concentration gradient into the phloem, where it increase the water pressure when water leave leave the phloem, the water pressure decrease and move down the concentration gradient. This is how this whole process works on simultaneously. Okay, so phloem movement, flow from source to sink. Transport, phloem is mainly responsible to transport food as sucrose, or from source like food synthesizing particle कहाँ से transport करेगा? From leaf to other parts of the plant body, or we can say sink area where food is needed for storage purpose. Okay, so source and sink role can be reversed based on the season or plant need. Okay, like root as a source in spring, birds as sink during the same season. Okay, so direction of movement. Phloem transport is bidirectional. We have discussed this point so many times, upward or downward, whenever or wherever food is needed. So both the direction based on the source sink dynamics, while the water movement is a unidirectional movement, means upward only from root to other parts of the body, unidirectional. Okay, phloem sap composition. This phloem sap contain water, sucrose, and some other sucrose sugar molecule. Certain kind of hormones and amino acids are also present in phloem sap composition. Now, pressure flow or mass flow hypothesis. So the sugar which is produced by the leaf are further converted into the sucrose and actively transported into the companion cell, as just now we have see the that particular diagram. Sucrose is produced or synthesized in the plant, in the leaf of the plant, and very quickly actively transported into the companion cell and then further sieve tube of the phloem. Okay, and this create a hypertonic condition into the phloem, means solute concentration is more, okay, as compared to solvent, which drawing water from the xylem to phloem side or sieve through this process osmosis, as it create hypertonic solution in the sieve tube. So very quickly phloem sieve tube accept water from the xylem via osmosis, so which results osmotic pressure driven the phloem sap towards the area of lower pressure, means sink area. Osmotic pressure is high on the top area or source area, and it is lower in the sink area, and that's how water move from source to sink area. Sucrose is actively transported out of the phloem into the cell for the storage purpose and reducing slowly its osmotic pressure. As osmotic pressure is released, water exit the phloem area and eventually return to the xylem. Just now we have discussed this diagram, right? Now let's discuss this experiments, girdling experiment, in which removal of a ring of bark occur, which also include phloem from a tree, which cause tree swelling. Upper part of the tree, like this is a tree. If we cut, okay, this is a tree. Here food synthesis occur. This is sun. So if we cut this particular area like this, if we cut this particular, okay, just now, if we cut this particular area like this, then what will happen? The food which is generated by a leaf, it come down through phloem, it will show storing, it will able to store the food over this upper part of the, this is the cutted part of the plant. Okay, so removing of a ring of bark from a Tree trunk cause swelling above the ring, indicating phloem role in downward food transport. So many time question asked with related to this particular experiment, and this experiment also shows that phloem is present on the outside as compared, and xylem is present inside the plant trunk. So this is all about the today's video lecture. I hope most of the things has been cleared now. Still you have any query, any doubt, please let me know. We will discuss it later on. Till then, take care, bye bye, and keep learning. Namaskar.